Your 2023 NBA G League champs, the Delaware Blue Coats.
We are back live for the Blue Coats Beat. This is episode number 2. I'm your host, Tony Cutillo, joined as always by my partner in crime, my co-host, Mr. Joe Richmond. And we brought to you by Heat Ratio Sports. And we talked a little about in the beginning, introduction of what we would talk about. And now we really get into the nitty gritty, so to speak. I know it's cliche, but inside the Blue Coats team. But first and foremost, Coach Joe, how are you doing today?
Yo, Tom, what's going on, man? I'm doing real good, as you can tell, always. It's just, I'm always laughing. I'm always smiling. I'm always happy because you know what, man? I never go to work. I just show up at another house. You know what I mean?
So, is this work, Joe? Is this work? Is this what they call this?
You know what I mean? Like talking to you. See, I'm just in your house. I'm just in another house. You know, we here now. We sharing our spot, right? It's been great, man. The family's been great. It's a great time of year right now, Tony. It's just the holiday time is just a great time of the year.
It really is. And for one, you know, we've always talked community, and one of the biggest things is it's a time for giving. And I'll tell you what. You know, if you're listening to this right now, as we're on this podcast, you know, number one, you need to make sure that you follow both of the YouTube channels where this belongs, at Delaware Blue Coats and Heat Ratio Sports. But most importantly, right on the Linktree account, right in the link, you're going to see the Blue Coats podcast. Make sure you go subscribe because, Coach Joe, we had an awesome Christmas present bestowed upon us talking to the great Sonny Hill. You can listen to that entire podcast episode in its entirety right on the Blue Coats podcast site.
Yo, you need a stenographer. You needed somebody just taking notes behind you. You need a recorder. It was just phenomenal. Just what's that word they use? Is the plethora? Just a plethora of historic information and basketball information, Philadelphia information in general. And Mr. Sonny is just, I think you used the word iconic, and he really is. People say that word loosely, but that truly fits that man. And it's in every area, right? Not just basketball, but as a human being, just a genuine person. And I've never not seen Mr. Sonny not willing to teach. He's always willing to teach. And I think that's what we all need to do going forward into 2024 and things of that nature. No more assuming someone knows. Take a little bit more time and teach. And I think you and we both got taught something today.
You're not lying, man. I mean, that was, like I said, a basketball encyclopedia, man. Like it was, it took us back to the 40s, the 30s. I mean, you heard names. Obviously, we were talking about the passing of the great George McGinnis, but you heard John Wooden's name being mentioned. We heard some LeBron James modern day references. So make sure that you tune in to that podcast, listen to that. But Coach, so let's talk about the team right now, man, because you know when we got started, first intro, they were started off a little slow, 2-3, trying to find their way. A lot of new guys, right? But now he's 6-4 in our last 10. Right. You know, and we're looking at the standings. Guess what? In the Eastern Conference, guess what? We have for one, we're 4th at 8-6, but we have the 3rd best record along with Maine. All right. Along with Long Island, along with Cap. What do you see from this team right now, besides obviously the youth and the, you know, the cohesion that they need to find?
You named some great teams right there, right? Long Island, Capital. These teams are growing, coming together. They're a little bit more mature in some areas than us, but, you know, just youth. And but Coach Longo has just done an amazing job, you know. And I got to say this, Tony, because when we just talked about Sunday, we talked about the history, not the latest and greatest, right? You just see this finished. Now, sometimes you see this finished product, but you got to see where it all started from. Prosper, then Jameer taking over and just putting his stamp on it. And then you have Coach Longobardi, that's a championship caliber pedigree coach. You got Coach Sham, that's a G League champion coach. Coach Longo is the Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors championship, NBA, and then you got Coach Sham championship, the Delaware Blue Coats, right? You got Coach JP, right? Delaware Blue Coat championship medal. You know what I mean? You got the young assistant coach Ryan Ayers, whose father is, you know, Grandiers, and look at all that pedigree of all that's coming to these young people. So even though we have a young team, you have just an amazing group of individuals that have so much experience that know how to taper some things when it don't seem like it. And we've steadied the ship. If we had anybody else, we'd probably be 4 and whatever. 3 and whatever, you know what I mean? But Coach Longo just has an amazing pulse of this team, and he understands those buttons to push, when to push them. And like you said, where we're standing right now, getting as we prepare for the Winter Showcase in Orlando, we're in a good space. And I like where we're at. I like some of the moves we've made, player personnel wise. And we all know the beauty of the G League is that they're not going to be around probably the whole season. And that's why it's such an amazing league. It was the D League, which was the development league. Now I'll say it's the G League, and we say Gatorade, but I say it's still the growth league, right? That G stands for growth.
Yep.
And that's what they're doing every day, right? We're growing. Everybody's growing. And you're seeing this team grow up right between your eyes. And thank God we do have those veterans in like Jared Brownridge, right? Culver, guys that's already been here with us. So that's all a part of who we are. We got Cumberland back with us. So these are the things that help us and keep us steady, keep the locker room, here, instead of us going, And you never really see that. And I love that. And that's a testament to the coaching staff, the trainers, that management, and the players themselves.
Yeah, listen, when you have a bunch of young guys, it takes all those coaches, all that staff, those veterans, that leadership to keep everything on an even keel. It's not easy, man. These are young kids. They're young kids, right?
Yes.
They're still trying to find a way. That's why I always laugh all the time. People are like, how's that kid get millions out and he's broke? Because he's still trying to find his way. He don't know. Like, give a kid a break, man. Like, he doesn't know, right? So, and that's what's great about this team. And you mentioned it, Coach Joe. Let's talk about a couple of those players. Number one, I mean, Ricky run, man. Like, Ricky Council is on another level. We try to do, I'm trying to do some spotlights. You see that on the YouTube page. I talked about Ricky Council right out of Razorback, right out of Arkansas. And, there was a couple knocks on him coming out, but Coach, looking at him and seeing what he's been able to build just in the last 10 games, I mean, he's consistently hitting the stat chart on all phases of the game. And one thing I said, and I get your point on it too, is he plays both ends of the court. And that's something that's huge when you want to get to that next level.
And that is something that's a culture of ours. You have to play on both ends of the court. Coach Longo, all of them, they preach that, and the players know that the game, yes, we know we got to score, but the game is won on the other end. Who can you stop? That's what won us the championship game, right? That block shot, that hustling back. Those are the things that win the little things. And I would add to it when you talk about RC. I like to call him RC.
I like that. I like that.
Because I'm going to give you some backdrop here, a little bit behind the scenes. You got to see the time he puts in with the coaches. Hours before, the time after practice. Day off, he comes in for an hour here and there, put up shots. Those are little things. And that's why that finished product that you see, the greatest, right? The greatest that you see is on game night when he's just so explosive. He can take you inside, outside. He has such a bounce to him. You ever notice, Ricky? He always looked like he just bouncing, like he was on one of those the kid things with the inflatable.
Wait, back in the day, it was like a pogo stick. Remember the pogo stick?
Yeah, like he just walked with this bounce. And the craziest thing about this, and I'm gonna say this, he'll probably tell you is the truth. When he really, really takes it serious, he's just having fun. Something has to happen to Ricky. He has to get hit hard or fouled hard or and then he goes into crazy mode. This kid, he signs autographs. He's always got time to talk to the kids. He's always got time to take a picture. That's just who he is. It's not something that he has to do. Talk about all of the intangibles that make up the great product that he is. Yep. And that's what it is, because it's who he is as a person that makes him such an amazing basketball player.
All around, right? We talk about all around athlete, not player, all around athlete. And that's part of it, right? Never a bad look, never an attitude, never always a pleasure to be around. That kind of attitude is contagious. And speaking of that, we talked about it, guys that may not always be around, right? David Duke Jr., he gets picked up, he goes out there with Pop's team in San Antonio, in that organization. What is it like, Coach? Like, you've seen guys, and we'll talk about Jaden Springer as well, going, from the Blue Coats, from the Sixers to the Blue Coats and back and forth. What, is it something that already are accepting when you become a member of the G League, or is it something that even though you've accepted it, it's never easy?
And that's the part. Even though you accept it, it's never easy. And also, Spurs, leave our players alone. You already took champagne. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Tell, man. Like, come on. Why are you
Yeah,
gonna be
like,
scooping up our squad?
like he's over there looking like, yo, them blue coats people. They know what they doing over there, boy. You know what I mean? They got Champagne first last year. Now they got David Duke, and who's just an amazing story. I mean, this young man was giving nothing. Everything he has, he's earned. Everything he has, he's fought through. What's the saying? The young people say he got it from the mud. That's this young man. And he was amazing for us. He was a pleasure for us. Our fans loved him. Now he's going to be in San Antonio. They're going to all run around with them hairstyles because his hairstyle was unique and the kids loved it.
Yep.
And his personality is just second to none. And that's what we love too, though, right? Our fans, that's why I always say, and I've been around the G League, I've been to other arenas and things, but it's nothing like our fans. Our relationship with our fans and our players is totally unique through the G League. And we have some mature fans. A lot of our fans are on the upper side. They're mature. So they understand the dynamic of being in the G League, knowing that this player may be so good that he's going to be gone. And they accept it. And even though we do, we be like, oh, not right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But they wish him well and they're happy for him. And David Duke Jr., my hat is off to the young man. I believe San Antonio has gotten another gem of ours, and they're going to be special with him. And it also makes our guys even more energetic because they know that people are looking. Teams are looking at us. So that means they're going to keep their level of play up. They're going to keep their level of professionalism up because they know any day it could be one of them. And that's what I love about it. And also to piggyback on RC is the reason I believe he's such a great person is because his parents, his family is great. I've met his mom, his brother, and they're phenomenal. And the support that he gets is amazing, as do all of our players. And our fans, we have the amazing love for our players, and we want that. And even I, as the ambassador of basketball, it touches me because I get close to these guys. I get a little bit more closer than most people, and I'll be happy for him. And then at the same time, I'll be, dang, I wish he was here. And it don't hurt that he can play real good.
I'll tell you what, his athleticism it's on another level, man. Like he's going to be a special player. I can't wait to see him on that pro court. You said, listen, it all starts, and it doesn't just have to be mom or dad, right? It all starts, family oriented, right? And it could be your grandmom, it could be your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, sisters, it does friends. It's all about that circle that you create. And if you create that really, really grounded circle, you're always going to have somebody not only to help you, but to pick you up and guide you through all these moments. So like you said, that's a great point. And speaking of youngsters, I mean, listen, what does it feel like when you're a guy like Jaden Springer? It wasn't that he wasn't producing. Look, they made the trade for James Harden. There's all these pieces. They thought, Nicholas Batum was going to retire maybe, and then he doesn't. He comes. So it was he just got caught up in a logjam. And I love what they were able to do because it's like baseball, right? It's like, do you want to sit on the bench and pitch hit once every 17 days, or do you just want to play, right? And now Jaden gets to play. And I think that's the most important thing, Coach Joe.
Once again, a testament to his fan, right? His dad, if you look at Jaden, he could be a poker player. If you ever met his dad, he the same way. His dad ain't Superman. His dad ain't moving fast. His dad ain't herky. His dad is like even kill. And that's what his son is the same exact way. And Jaden is mentally strong. He's not an emotional guy. He's mentally strong. He understands what he's in. He understands the uniqueness of who he is. And that uniqueness allows him to be with the Sixers and also say, you know what, coach, I understand. Let me go get some reps in. Let me come down here. Let me join the team. Let me be a part of it when I can. Just keep me good. Keep me warmed up. Keep me ready to go. So when you need me, I'm ready to come in. Because most of the time he come in the games, if you watch the games, he's on the front side of the game. I mean, the first and second quarter, he's playing one of the toughest players whether it's Trae Young, whoever you may call, he's always playing one of the toughest players. And then on the back end, he's that spark off the bench that just gets them instant offense, and he's a lockdown defender. So he brings a different kind of uniqueness to who he is. And by him understanding and being part of the Blue Coats, it's just a seamless transition. And he understands that, and he loves to hear the fans love to see him back. But, he's with the Sixers now, and, we'll take whatever we can get. If it's one scoop or two of James Springer, we'll take whatever or whoever it is they send to us. Guys come down to get better, get more rep in, just had a little slight injury, and they want to get some reps in. So it's not unheard of. It's not like it hasn't been done. It's been done throughout the league. Great way to say, hey, it's different than playing against in practice, but to really get game reps in with the speed that you need. So when you do get back, you're ready to go. And at his level of who he is, his explosiveness, he needs that. And I'm so glad that he embraces it more than most I've seen around the league.
Great point. I'm glad that you brought up the mental aspect, because again, like on this show, we don't just talk about the players, and we try to teach, and we try to give our own viewpoints. And you hear the word, I like to say it a lot, say mental midget, right? In the sense that you could be the strongest and best athlete in the world, but if you're not mentally strong, you're not built to fight through adversity or those obstacles, you're never going to pan out. And I preach that to the kids that I coach all the time. Like, this is adversity, guys. This is how you grow. You may not be the best player in the world, but if you're mentally strong to be able to work through and to understand I used to say in softball, when I coach softball, I say, listen, this girl may have all the skills in the world, but her softball IQ is maybe 0. That's a problem. You need IQ. And I'm not saying that your educational background, just for you to be able to see the court, right? See the vision, understand. You talked about defender. Man, if you're going to be one of those defenders in the NBA playing against these guys like an SGA, a Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Jamal Murray, Jalen Brunson, we can go through the whole league, right?
Yes.
I mean, you better be good. You better be ready to get beat too, and be able to bounce back and be like, you know what? I'll get him next time, right?
That's why Patrick Beverley's so unique, right?
Good point. Yes, exactly. Right? And he stays, right? He stays in demand around the league, specifically because of that.
And you look at a Jaden Springer that's learning from a Patrick Beverley. Going to do for this young man going forward. He's going to see it maybe 5-6 years from now. But those little things, right? You hear these guys talk about these type of individuals they learn from, right? And that's what the game is about, right? We learn from one another. And learning from someone don't make us weak. It just makes us better to have the wisdom to know we need to learn from them. And that's what I love about the G League. I really do, because it's always about learning, right? Alex, Larry, Milai, they're always talking about be teachable, be willing to learn. And when you're willing to do that, you notice 100%, Tony, that if you're willing to do that, you have already won. I love what Sonny said. It's not about that end. It's the journey. And the journey is learning. And as you learn, you're winning, because this is what we need from you. We need, right? This is a whole book. If you start reading the first 3 pages, you already on your way to that promise, which is the ending, which you're going to learn and that's what most people miss it. And I love the G League because it always gives you an opportunity to learn, and it's going to benefit you somewhere down the line. Maybe not 5 minutes from now, maybe not 50 minutes from now, maybe not 5 hours from now, maybe it's 5 days, but it's going to benefit you if you just watch it and see, oh, there it is. And that's what the G League is to me. I love it. I love it.
Put the time in, man. As they say, put the time in, and you'll always you're investing in yourself as a person and a basketball player, right? And if you do that, you're paying yourself back, man. It's the best thing in the world. Speaking about investing and people buying in, I mean, let's talk about, man, the Nurse offense right now, the Nick Nurse led 76ers. I mean, we see a completely different culture on that team right now. And this is no knock on Doc, because every coach is different. Right. It's just a matter of possibly maybe Nick Nurse runs a different system, and based on the extra players they have now, Joe, they're all buying in. And the one thing I will say, I'll see if you notice, the biggest thing, obviously, we got to talk about the big man that JoJo's having quietly again. Nobody's talking about it, but an even better year that he was having last year as the MVP, right? And the reason why is because he's not standing stagnant. Nurse has this team moving around. He's not just standing top of the key and just waiting for something to happen. These dudes are raw, and he did it in Toronto. We saw that. We saw what kind of offense that he employs. And right now, this could, in my opinion, it's going to add a couple extra years on Joel Embiid's career.
He's got a real good assistant up there named Kobe.
Who would that be?
Kobe, championship caliber.
Who has a trophy? Who has a trophy?
Yeah, that's Kobe Carl. You know what I mean?
And a pedigree. And a pedigree. Another pedigree, right?
Yeah, no. Everything you said is so spot on, man. Shout out to my man Rico Hines down there. I knew him from years past. I mean, you just look at the staff that he has up there, right? Once again, it starts with there, right? It starts with the staff. And he got a bunch of guys that's got pedigrees across. Doug West. Come on now. Come on. Am I going to keep going on and on? Right? He just got some guys up there that's just on that bench that are just teaching, and that's what it's all about. And no, man, I said it the other day to somebody. Is there somebody in the league right now having a better season than Joel Embiid? I don't know.
Nope.
And I'm not saying it because I work for him. I mean, I'm talking as a basketball fan. Biggest word in this league at this level, when you start separating players, it's consistent. Being consistent. You don't hear nothing negative coming out of Joel Embiid. You have nothing coming out of that locker room. No tweets. Everything is about the team, right? Him and Maxey, him and Tobias, him and Marquise Morris. Yo, welcome back, baby boy. Do you know what I mean? Welcome back, Marquise. Yo, Marquise, what's up?
Ain't that great? Isn't that great, man?
I love that they're both still in the league. I love that the one is back home, man, and that's just a big up for us here in Philadelphia to see one of our own back home. It's something about Nick Nurse, and guess what? He's been to 2 or 3 G League games now. Coach comes to the game. Melton was at the game. This is what he's putting in everywhere. Like, we're one team.
Yes.
This in every interview I go to. I've been here 10 years, and I've never had a boss. I've had amazing teachers and amazing leaders since I've been here 10 years. And it starts from up there with the Sixers. Their leadership, the way they teach, the way they hold you accountable, is just second to none. And I've been, like I said, I've been here 10 years, and I've been around the league. And when you have that, it's easy for what we've seen and what we've been through in the last couple of years with players and different things of that nature. But when you have a leader like Joel, when you have the upcoming young leadership of a Maxey, when you have the steadfast leadership of a Tobias Harris, how can you not have a winning formula? I'm not a trick question here, Tony, but how?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got someone that's won a championship. You got someone that had dynamic players when he won that championship. You had someone that had a dynamic player that he had to get to that championship. So he's seen it all. It's nothing that's going to be, to no Nick Nurse. I'm sorry. When he comes to the Blue Coats games, this man signs autographs. This man take pictures, and he has his children with him. And he doesn't act like he's and better than anyone. And when you have that type of mentality, it can only brew over to the rest because they're looking at it, they're seeing it, right? And I just love who we are as an organization, as a fan first. I told that to the Sixers before I got hired. I'm a fan first.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm a fan first. As a fan, I'm loving everything that I see. I see the energy. And I love my man, B-Ball Paul. You know where he started there, baby. I love my guy, B-Ball Paul. And I love that Coach is trying to find unique ways to incorporate them. And that's what he does. And I think more than anything, and I never really interacted with Coach. Let me put that out there. I've never interacted with Coach Nick Nurse in any way, shape, or form. Just by seeing him, hey, Coach, how you doing? Shaking his hand when he comes to the Blue Coats games. He just seems so genuine. And I believe, I see how genuine he is when he comes to us. He doesn't put on any airs. He doesn't do anything. He's not asking for anything special. You know what I mean? He's not, I got to be on the front row. I got to be, he'll be making no demands. And I'm in every meeting. So, he's just a genuine guy. And when you have that, I believe players that's been in this league, they know the difference.
You lead by example.
And like the Blue Coats, those guys genuinely look like they love playing with each other right now.
Yes, and it's funny, and like you just said, it breathes down, right? Because you watch the videos of the shoot arounds with the Sixers, and those guys look like they love playing with each other. You go to the Chase Field House, you watch these guys practice with the Delaware Bluecoats, and they like playing with each other. They're getting off the bus in Orlando, they're smiling, nobody's miserable, right? Everybody's having a good time, and I'm so glad that you mentioned before we get into our Christmas wish list. You mentioned about the leadership of Joel Embiid. You specifically talked about like no tweets, no social media, and I was listening to I know you know this guy. If you want to listen to basketball, you listen to Devon Givens, and Devon specifically mentioned about how Joel, not only his game but just took his leadership to our level. He's not popping off with those sarcasm. He's not like, he's still being Joe, but he's not adding that extra element that we really didn't need. And we all said, ease back on that and just refine everything else, and man, you will be even that much better. And we're witnessing it right now.
And you could tell. I believe he has a little one, and sometimes that does mellow you out.
That is true. That is true. It makes you grow up real fast, don't it?
As a dad, I know that
Yep.
The dadless Joe was different than the Joe with the dad Joe. And I'm talking about Joe Richmond. So I was, but then when my children came, when you, after a game or after a hard day at work, they don't see that. They just want to see daddy. And that kind of changes you. And then you're like, you know what? I don't need all that other noise in my life. These individuals that when I come through my front door that love me for who I am, not because I dropped 40 points tonight and 15 rebounds and 3 blocks. I don't know him. Well, I don't know him at all. I don't conversate with Joel, but I believe that has to have an impact. And I believe that was with a lot of players that have children. When you can see the difference in a lot of players that have children and those that don't. It kind of makes it I don't say it changes them, but it puts a shift in them. You'll see a shift in them because they have a peace. You see them after the game now, and they're looking for their children. And I think that's when you see all that immaturity kind of go away. Sooner or later, that little one is going to be reading stuff that do I want my daughter to see this about their dad? Do I want my son? And I'm trying to teach them to be responsible and respectable. And they go, well, Dad, what about when you said this? It's on here. Yeah. And I believe a lot of these players are conscious of that, especially the elite players.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They're very, very conscious of what they say and how they say things. And I think this is what we're seeing in Joel Embiid. We can dare to say he's better than last year. That's scary.
It's very scary. Very scary.
And Tony, I'm not lying. I made the statement the other day to Joe Kane in the office. I'm like, yo, man, nobody's really saying anything. But this guy has quietly just separated himself from everybody. And because he's not out there acting a fool, it's not getting enough publicity. Because when those things were happening, all that added to somebody else's narrative. So now he could be, but no, he's clear by any chase the MVP of the league right now. Not just as a basketball, but also as a person and a leader.
No more wasted energy as a person, as a leader. And the thing is, he's actually, and we'll get into that this episode, but he's actually recreating the word load management because he's doing it in 3 quarters and he gets to rest while he's playing the game. That's crazy. Right?
He's producing and resting all in one.
Who else is doing that? Exactly.
Unheard of.
Yes. I mean, he may be able to rebrand the word load management, take it away from Pop, and it could be Joel's turn now. But, before we close this out, Joe, as always, great time here on the Blue Coats Beat. It is the holiday season, and we talk about this all the time. It's about giving. Let's do a couple, one personal wish and one sports wish as far as we go into 2024 in this Christmas season.
Man, today we talked to Sunny. As I was leaving Sunny, I was on CBS celebrating the 35 years of the Salvation Army, the joy of sharing, along with Mothers in Charge. And I was there doing the interview, me and Cody, the greatest mascot in the whole league. And my personal Christmas wish for me is my family. We've had some challenges health-wise. And if we can get through this Christmas and going into the new year and everybody come on the other side healthy, oh man, that would be the best Christmas gift period, especially for my daughter. My nephew is going through some challenges. My brother's been in the hospital. So personally, that's where I'm at personally. Sports-wise is for on the other side, when it's all said and done, after the trade deadline is all through and all that good stuff, that my Sixers are healthy. They're ready for this real push that's in front of us. And I believe we have a really great open opportunity right now to make that move. I believe with all the other ones set up, yeah, but we have a unique team right now. We have a different type of unit right now. And I would personally love to see us take it home this year. And I believe that we have two of the most dynamic players in the league, but we also have you throw in Tobias, who's been as steady as over, so that makes us our big three. But collectively as a unit, top to bottom, our second unit, this and that, I really believe in my heart of hearts. I'm not just talking because I'm with them. I really believe this is a great opportunity for the Sixers to really step in and show who we are. And I think Coach Nurse and who we have, we can make that happen. And I would, because I look at it, because we won back in, 83, back in that era, and Doc led us then, right? And now Doc is still around, and for the Doc to see it, for the Sunny Hills of the world to see this, for AI got us close, couldn't do it, right? Barkley, but I believe this group is special, and I would love to see it in my lifetime for this group right here to make it happen. So that's my personal, and that's my sports. What's yours?
I love it, man. No, listen, it's going to sound, cliche, but I mean, obviously it always, as far as I'm very blessed to be able to do this and to talk with you and to be a part of the Blue Coats organization and to be able to talk sports and meet some fantastic people like we talked about with Mr. Hill, just hearing all, a fantastic experience. But obviously it's always going to be health, and that we continue to stay healthy within my internal family. But also, my wish would be like, and I say this wholeheartedly, like, I just want us all to get along better, like going into 2024. Like, I've been through a lot of experiences within this industry specifically.
Yes.
A lot of people behind each other's backs and try to one up the next guy. And I've said this before, it's a huge space, and everybody can have a piece of the pie and learn from one another and understand, it would perfect your craft. Maybe you see something that somebody else does and say, hey, I'm not going to hate on it. I'm going to say, wow, how does he do that? Maybe I can be just like that one day. I just want us to get along, Joe, more in this digital arena, because I just feel like, what, man, people get a bad rep, and it's a lot of injustice out there within the digital community and the physical community as well. But just as a whole society, it sounds cliche, but I just want everybody to get along a lot better in 2024. That would be my wish. And for the sports side, you nailed it. I'm going to be fully transparent. I was not bought in. I was not. I invested a lot of time and energy over the last couple of years to be completely disappointed over and over again, from the Ben Simmons saga to James Harden saga. And now I honestly feel, by us not being in the spotlight, it's helped us evolve even more internally. And I think that this team is really collectively as a unit. If my wish is just for them to stay healthy, they continue to buy in, and watching teams like, listen, I love Golden State as much as the next guy, but they're not anymore. Like, I love Steph is the GOAT. Steph is great, but that team is crumbling. The greater teams are starting to fall down a little bit, and now this could be that window of opportunity. And that's my wish, Joe, that I hope that this opportunity, we take hold and we don't let it go, man.
And the funny thing, even you said with all those teams that were great, we were right there in the mix during that great. We were right there during that great moment, right? Right. It was always this, always that, and I get that, and as this being the Blue Coat beat, I saw that with the Blue Coats, right? We were always there. 3 years, we were there. This, like that, and then Coach Kobe Carl, he just tweaked something. Something happened. The way that coaching staff was. It was something that got us to what it was to be a champion. And I look at him with the Sixers on that staff, and it just seems like him and Coach are just like one. And then he comes down, right? He comes back to the Blue Coats. He's there supporting Coach Longo. And who does this, Tony, who does this? I mean,
crazy, man.
I'm not saying I'm in every G League locker room but who does this? not just as Coach Nurse come, but other members of the coaching staff. But to have your coach come back, your championship coach come back, and support that coach and encourage those guys and have an encouraging word, not talking strategy, just talking encouragement. And that is beyond amazing, man. And in this day, like we both say, we use the term a lot, this day and age in sports, right? We say that a lot.
Shows our age, right?
right. But that just tells you the type of culture that has been set from the Sixers all the way to us, that we are one, that one doesn't work without the other, right? And that is what a true team is about.
100%, man. 100%. Can't say that better myself.
Right. That's the true definition of team. Like, one doesn't work without the other. Joel Embiid said that during his MVP acceptance speech. This is not about me. I did not do this by myself.
It starts from the top and it works its way down.
And like, we guys in the room with me.
Exactly. And it's like, exactly. I mean, it like I said, it is contagious. The positivity, positive energy, passion, work ethic, everything is contagious, and it just breathes on down, man. Joe, this is another great episode, man. We you could probably do this all day long, which is fantastic, man. Before we go, what's coming up? I know it's end of the year, but any new community events or anything we're looking forward to? I know we have the open courts coming in January. Obviously, I think that you could still register for the 27th, right? I mean, I think that may still be open, or February, but what's coming up in the community, man?
Great events that you talked about, and man, you've been on it all day, so that's been so amazing. Tomorrow we got one of our partners, Brew Ha Ha, Cody and us will be out there hanging out. We'll be at the Route 9 Library later in the day, right here in Newcastle, Delaware. And then the 23rd, right after Christmas, right before Christmas, the 23rd, which is Saturday, we have a big toy giveaway with a great organization here in Delaware. Shout out to my guy, Alexander Hackett, who we do a lot in the community with. And then, the team is out in Orlando doing a winter showcase. And then we right back at it that Wednesday, the 27th. Come on out, Chase Field House, 7 o'clock start. We're ready to rock and roll with you. And then we turn right around December the 30th, right before the end of the year. We have, like Tony just said, another amazing open gym, free open gym. Free. Compliments of our partners, AmeriHealth Caritas, who's partnered with us so that we can make this free to the community. We do 10 free open gyms a season. Go to bluecoats.team, go to the website, look at it. It's on the calendar, it's on our Facebook page, all our platforms. And yes, you can go and register right now for any one of the open gyms. Get your kid registered. We cap the registration off at 100. So people, when you hear that, people say, "Oh, I can't register," because that means it's full. Because we only register 100 online, so we save room for the walk-ups, and we'll get another 30 to 50 people that walk up on that day. So it's an amazing initiative through AmeriHealth Caritas, our partner, and our team. And our last open gym, Tony, is you ready? Are you ready? You sitting down, Tony?
Yeah,
our last open gym, Marcus Bagley came and talked to the kids. Then right after that, are you ready? No, I'm telling you, Coach Mike Longobardi came and talked to the kids and then had a session with the parents. Where else are you going to get that for free? Where else are you going to get that, Tony?
You're getting that nowhere, man.
With your NBA 2022-23 G League champion Delaware Blue Coats and AmeriHealth Caritas, December the 30th, Chase Fieldhouse. Come on out, go to the website, get the times, register. Yo, happy holidays, everybody.
That guy you hear right there is the first guy going to greet you in the door when you go down to that Chase Fieldhouse. So as always, like Coach Joe just said, I'll say the same thing. Happy holidays. Have a great season. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. The Blue Coats beat. We'll catch you next time. Everybody stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you in 2024.